I'm here with Top Tier A's director Jason Murphy. Jason, it's good to have you.
Hey, thanks for having me, Tino. Appreciate it.
Of, of course. So I think a lot of people who are watching this might be getting kind of a first introduction to you. So I want to give you a chance to kind of introduce yourself, how long you've been with Top Tier A's, and kind of how you got to this point in your career.
Okay. Um, Obviously, my name's Jason Murphy. I am the director of Top Tier Athletics. We've been with Top Tier for 2 years now. Um, we started an organization up, and Scott French came to me and wanted to know if I wanted to be a part of a national brand. And he kind of gave me his spiel, and I met Todd and talked to Todd and met all the guys, and it was a no-brainer for me. And it's been nothing but positive for us. The branding's helped a lot. The networking's helped a lot. Everything that the connections that Todd has and that Frenchie has and Seth and Plant and all these guys um, has been nothing but positive for us. I mean, it's helped us grow. It's helped a lot of our guys get noticed. Um, Not that they wouldn't have anyway, but it always helps to have as many guys pulling for you as you possibly can. In this organization, you have a whole bunch of them. So, um, I've this is all I've ever been any good at is baseball. Um, I worked in a factory for 19 years and decided that probably that's not what I wanted to do any longer. Um, Made some phone calls to some people, got hooked up with Nevin Ashley and Cody Gilbert, who are also part owners of this with me. We also own a hitting facility that we've just upgraded and moved into a new place, a lot bigger place to be able to house all the kids that we have now and offer all of them the amount of time that they need to have in the off season. Not just as far as swings, but defense and pitching and all the stuff that we offer now. So, um, I when we got with them, I just started giving hitting lessons and stuff, and then it kind of morphed into being a part owner of their facility, and then we started up the organization. Originally, not Top Tier. That only lasted 1 year until Frenchie called, but we're up to 16 teams now. We started with 3 the first year. We've got 16 teams. We've got some age groups that like our 11U age group has 4 teams now. So we had to get a bigger place. So we just kind of grew out of that old place. So it's been good, man. It's been really good. And the partnership with Top Tier is a big part of that. So I played baseball in college, played as long as I could. And I remember the day when I knew baseball was over, and as far as the playing days part of it. And I missed it tremendously until I got back into it. Of course, my boys have always played, but just having that as a part of your life is something I needed. So um, it's been good, man. It's been really good as far as the partnership goes.
So some of the topics we're going to touch on today include a lot about the youth program, and I want to, this is all kind of serving as a Mizuno Classic preview, and I know you're kind of at the forefront of that, being down there, near the facility that we're going to be at. So I want to know more about the Mizuno Classic tournament that's coming up here at mid to late May.
Mm-hmm.
How did this kind of come about, and what can parents, players expect? I think a lot of people that are going to be watching this, I think this interview is going to be one of the most beneficial, if not the most beneficial, given that you are kind of boots on the ground there. So what's some background on the inception of the Mizuno Classic, and what can players and parents expect from this upcoming tournament?
Okay. I'll start with the inception of it, and I take very little of the credit of that. Nevin and Seth kind of got together and was talking about Deaconess Sports Park, and we've been really trying to build up the tournament brands that come in there, um, the level of talent that comes in there. What happens for us is we don't really have a home field as far as tournaments for our major teams. Our home field is basically Indianapolis, which is 3 hours away, where those teams have to go to play. So Nevin got with Seth about bringing the Mizuno Classic down here, bringing all of or inviting every one of our satellites to come down here and play, to bring their best teams down here. And it kind of morphed from there. They've done a really good job putting it together. Cody Gilbert has been a big part of getting a lot of these local teams and outside of our top tier brands or top tier satellites to come, and he's brought a lot of those teams in. He's got a lot of contacts with the youth 9, 10, 11 guys, and it's really turned into a pretty big event. The thing with Deaconess Sports Park is it is a fantastic venue. They're all turf infields. It's very spacious in between the fields. A lot of room for the siblings to run around and play. It's got playgrounds. I mean, it's top of the line. It really is. It's just tough when you go against bullpen and you go again. I mean, you've got all these places, 2 and 3 hours from you that they run some big events, and it's hard for Deaconess to pull those teams in here, and that's what we're trying to help them do. And Seth and Cody and Nevin's been a big part of that, getting this Mizuno Classic together, and Todd being willing to put Mizuno's name on it and helping us with that and backing the whole thing is really going to help us out, as it's not our sports park, obviously. It's our home field. That's where we practice at. It's the most local place that we can play, up to 14. So I'm not even sure how many teams are in it. It's 30, 40 teams now. So that's going to be huge for us, and hopefully we can build from that and start having some bigger tournaments down here more often, where our parents don't have to travel 3 and 4 hours to play a major tournament. So that's how it started. Most of the credit goes to Nevin, Cody, and Seth. I mean, I honestly didn't have a whole lot to do with it as far as the inception of it. They've done all of the elbow grinding. So thanks to all of those guys that I just mentioned for allowing it to happen down here, because it's going to be big for us, and I think it's going to be big for our brand and getting all of our satellites in here to network and get to know each other a little better and spend a couple nights in the hotel and go out to eat together. We get to see each other at the summit, and some of us we'll run into occasionally in tournaments here and there, but it's going to be nice to have everybody in one spot for 3 or 4 days. Get to see you at work with all your video skills. That should be good. It should be good for our whole brand. It really should, especially with the Mizuno name backing it. I mean, it's a big name in the sport. So as far as what you can expect down here, a lot of the dads and some of the moms will probably be I know Frenchie will be excited. They've got a casino down here. Everybody can go hang out at the casino. There's plenty to do down here. I mean, it's a nice place. Evansville's a nice place. It's not a huge city, but it's got everything you could possibly need as far as keeping you busy when you're not on the field. Yeah, I'd be more than happy. Anybody that comes down here, if they need directed in a certain way for whatever, we'd be more than happy to let them know where the action's at. I'd love to get everybody into our new facility. If they want to hit before the games, we'll have that opened up for everybody that whole weekend. Right? Well, whenever they start coming into town, I mean, you just get with us and we'll get you in there and get you a few cages, whatever you need, and free of charge. We're not going to charge anybody. Just come in there and hang out, have a good time, get your work in, your pregame work before you go to Deaconess. It's probably, as long as traffic's good, 5 to 8 minutes from our facility to the sports park. So we'd love to have everybody come in there before one game, all their games, however they want to do it. They just get with us and we'll get them in there.
Yeah, talk about convenient, right?
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to promote that. That's awesome. I'm sure players and coaches will be super appreciative of that. So thank you.
Yeah.
How important is it to, like you said, you guys are in year 2 under the top tier umbrella. How important is it to get some more directors, some more players and parents who have been within the program for quite some time. Guys like obviously Seth Kinney, Matt Plant, who have been, Matt Plant has been here since basically the inception of Top Tier. And Seth Kinney is a veteran in not only the industry, but with our organization as well. How important is it to get some of these guys down there, continue to shake some hands and maybe pick their brain on what we do and how we like to do it? Is that something you're kind of looking forward to?
Yeah, anytime you have those guys around, it's beneficial to anybody that's around them. I mean, I could sit and talk to Seth and Plant and Todd, and I mean, you name any of those guys that got a table in that office. I'd love to see. I mean, every time you talk to them, you learn a lot. Um, Nobody that meets him is going to think, man, this guy's bad for the sport. I mean, every time you talk to him, it's positive, good stuff. Um, I love having him down here, Frenchie included. I mean, all of them. That's the best thing about this organization is they're all baseball guys. I mean, it's not necessarily about the business side. They want to make really good ball players. They want to make good ball players that end up playing college baseball. They want to make ball players that play in the big leagues. And that's what we want to do too. We all have the same idea, right? We may run our stuff a little bit different here or there, what we do in the fall, but at the end of the day, it's about making these kids as good of baseball players and grown men as they could possibly be. So yeah, I mean, the more you have those guys around, the better it's going to be for everybody around them. So I can't wait.
I think you segued perfectly into getting into some of the baseball side of things. So when you talk about, your youth program, I'm excited to get, my eyes on a lot of these kind of young players coming up. The Top Tier A's youth program specifically, I mean, a really good showing out of some of the guys down at Lake Point in the March Madness tournament, which a lot of satellites traveled down there as well. Are you kind of excited to see what these guys can put out onto the field? I know I've been talking to some other directors here this week, saying it's kind of tough to see some of the gains being made indoors, right? A lot of us, at least the directors that I've been talking to, are kind of been indoors for the past however many months. Are you excited to see for yourself what kind of gains these guys are making and finally put it out onto the field?
Absolutely. That's one of the most fun things about youth is you may have a AA/AAA team at 10, and those kids go put in the right work in the off season, and it's you get anxious to see what they've turned themselves into, and it's hard to because I see them a lot. I don't just see them every 3 months. I mean, I see them a couple times a week. So to see that, I can tell they're getting better, but when you see them that much, it's hard to remember what they were like when they were 10 compared to opening day at 11. So it's you get anxious to see what all of that work can do. And on the flip side of that, which I talk about this a lot with my guys because I'm as real with them as I can possibly be, the guys that didn't put in the work, the guys you didn't see as much, how much is that going to affect them going in? I mean, you may have been the best player on your major team at 10 or 11 years old, and you didn't put much work in because you got satisfied. How much does that affect you? And maybe it doesn't going into your 11-year-old year. Maybe not. Maybe you're that kid that popped a little earlier than everybody else, and you can still get by another year. But eventually, I mean, and we try to educate these kids as much as possible on that side of it because I mean it happens every year to a lot of kids. But I love that part of it, especially the kids that I see all the time. Man, you grind with them. I love them like they're my own, and to see the success on the other side of the 6 months of working out, what that can do for them, I love that part of it. So yeah, I mean, getting out there, we've had, like you said, we went down to Lake Point and we had a good showing with our 12s and a good showing with our 14s. Didn't have a 13U team, a full team go. One of my 13s went down there and played on that team that headquarters put together, and it was fun to watch. I mean, I wasn't personally down there. I followed it on Game Changer. Talked to the coaches after every game. I was impressed with a lot of our guys. Um, so yeah, it's here. We got a bunch of teams that played last weekend, had some good showings. We got some more going out and playing this weekend. Um, so yeah, it's that time of year where you get to see what the work that these kids put in, what it's done for them. So
How much does moving into kind of a new facility, or at least the anticipation of a new facility, kind of drive some of these, especially the youth guys? I think, some of the high school players have, they've been around, they've seen stuff and they've traveled, but I think some of the youth guys are extremely local, where maybe they aren't used to certain facilities or upgraded facilities yet. How much do you think that that's kind of the new facilities created some buzz within the organization?
it's created a lot, and we've put a lot of hard work into that place, and um, not just me, Cody, Nevin, a bunch of the coaches volunteered. Our 8U coach, I mean, Coach Nally, he saved us all kinds of money because he's brilliant. He can do all kinds of things. So he came in there and helped us out on a lot of different things, getting Wi-Fi ran in there and all that stuff. But do I think that a brand new state-of-the-art facility that has all the bells and whistles is the only way to make a good baseball player? I don't. I mean, I think a guy, if he can go into his garage and has one cage and he's around people that know the game, he can do that. He can do that too. But a lot of these kids don't have that opportunity. So to be able to be a part of an organization that has one that he can come to pretty much at will. I mean, there's limits to it, obviously. But to come in there and feel comfortable, and the parents feel comfortable, and they've got a place to sit, and they've got things to do, and they got TVs to watch while their kids out there training for 3 hours, it allows them to stay. They're not in a rush to leave. So don't get me wrong. When the first time me, Cody, and Nevin went up to that first summit and saw the place that Todd has, I mean, who doesn't want that? I mean, our place isn't nearly that big, but we've got a weight room. We've got a strength and speed and agility guy, Dylan Banks, who is as good as anybody that I've ever met as far as that side of the game. And they have the ability to use him at will. That's a big part of the game that it's hard to get through to some kids. You got to be big, fast, and strong now, period. I mean, and we put all these strength things together, what we've done in the last 2 years, but you give it to a certain kid, he doesn't have a weight room at home, right? And maybe doesn't have the ability to get to a gym as much as he needs to. Now he can come into our place and do it. So trying to eliminate a lot of the excuses, like I can't, I don't have time, don't have this, don't have that. But when you have it underneath one roof, it's hard to have that excuse. And a lot of our kids don't make excuses, but that you understand my point. We're proud of the place, man. We really are. And the kids, we've had a lot of positive comments about the place. It's nice. And we're excited to show it off. And we're excited to use it. And we're excited to build baseball players out of it, which is the most important thing. But we wanted the vibe inside the place. Like when you come in, I don't want you in a hurry to leave. Like if you bring your 9-year-old in there, and you're not necessarily a baseball guy, but your kid's a good baseball player. I want you to not be in a hurry to get out of there. Have a place to set up your laptop and get some work done. Whatever it is. There's 7 TVs in there. So come in there and watch, find something on TV to pass your time while your kid's out there getting after it. So I think it's huge for us. Do I think it's something you have to make a good baseball player? No, I said that earlier. But I think as an organization, a kid having the ability to have something like that at his fingertips and being able to use as much as he possibly wants helps you bring in good players. And just like last night, I can't be with them, but I'll have some guys call me. They need some extra hitting or whatever, and I'll stay in there as long. I didn't get home last night till 11:15. I mean, I just guys from our organization come in there and just hit and hit and hit and hit and hit, or do whatever. I mean, they've got enough room in there to do defensive stuff too. So it's good. There's nothing bad about it. I can tell you that.
Mizuno Classic, May 17th through the 19th. What are you looking forward to seeing on the field? Like, are there some, common threads, philosophies that you guys have really implemented in your guys and your academy this off season that you're ready to see come into fruition on the field? Like you said, you weren't down there, weren't able to attend the March Madness tournament, but you're going to get a good look at these guys. We all are. I mean, the whole organization. That's the one cool thing is, everyone's going to, there's a spotlight for everyone at this tournament. Everyone's going to be, watching each other and noticing different styles of play and stuff like that. What are you most excited to see about the teams that you roll out there next month?
Okay, I'm going to go two different ways on this. One, for my guys, don't get me wrong, I want my guys to hit. But what we really I want to be the best defensive team out there. I want my guys to look the part. I want them to be the best defensive team on the field at every tournament they go to, whether you win or lose. Pitching and defense, you got to have that. You're going to have bad days at the plate. But if you can throw strike one consistently and make every single routine play, I think you got a pretty good shot. So I'm excited to watch our defense. I'm excited to watch our pitchers throw strike one. And another thing that I'm excited about, doesn't have anything to do with my team, what I really like to watch, and I'll watch it more with our satellites, and I watch every team, don't get me wrong, but I like to watch what other guys do. Are they doing something better than what we're doing? Can I learn something from them? Can I learn something about their pregame routine that maybe I should implement with our guys? I think leaving your ego at the gate and coming in and trying to get better as a coach every time you go to a tournament, I think that's what makes you great. So I'm excited to see what top tier California does. I'm excited to see what top tier Iowa does. Headquarters, all you guys how do you get your kids ready? What's your BP routine before? What are your infielders doing before the game? And then watching them compete. So if one of those satellite teams is competing at a higher level, they're tougher than we are, I want to learn from that. I want our kids to learn from that. I want our kids to see it. So I can't make my kids stay at all the games during that tournament, but I'm going to put it out there, like I want you around. I want you around as much as possible. I get it. You got to go eat, and your sister's got a birthday party and all that stuff. I get that, but I want them to be around. It's your home venue. They've put this thing together to help us, not just help Mizuno, not just to help top tier brand. I mean, they could have had this tournament anywhere, but they decided to have it down here. So I want our guys around. I want them around as much as possible. If somebody asks you a question, I want you to be able to answer it. So I'm excited about all that. But learning from all these different satellites, and not just the different satellites, but any team. I mean, I get excited about that. What do they do different? Why did we just get beat by them? Right? What did they do different? So, yeah, I can't wait, man.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. I think I can speak for every director I've talked to this week. We're all excited to get down there. Again, Mizuno Classic, May 17th through the 19th at Deaconess Park. And also, stopping by Great Academy. I know that's something that I look forward to, just checking out the place and maybe flipping the Cubs game on if you let me. So
absolutely. You can have 7 different games on there if you want to.
Awesome. Well, Jason, thank you. I appreciate the time, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Absolutely, Tino. Appreciate your time, bud. Thank you.